All right, welcome back to another week here of 2 hours, no traffic. What is usually a Philadelphia and New York sports podcast. We have kicked Spence to the bench this week because it is all things Philly. We are on top of the world at the moment. I am joined by my good buddy and former, college radio coworker, Brendan Trilli. You can catch him over on his own podcast at Cold One Conversations, where they make you a bunch of money betting on the games. But I'm burying the headline here, folks. We've had Crossing Broad on before. We have Coggin Tobaggan from Crossing Broad with us here today to bask in the glory of another Philadelphia bender, Philadelphia victory streak, and just an all-around Philly weekend. I mean, from the polls to Broad to the Kyle Schwarber on a bull. I mean, we're really making our personality everyone's problem, and there's no one else I'd rather be joined by to talk about it.
What's up, guys? Brendan, how's everybody doing tonight? I shouldn't even ask that question because I think we all know how everybody is doing. How could you be bad right now in the city of Philadelphia? It's almost impossible after these last 3 weeks we've had.
Dude, my voice is still trying to recover just from going to the games and screaming.
You guys are young. And you guys are young guys, so I'm sure you were. I'm an older gentleman here, so I was not down. I'm in the burbs now. I'm in the Jersey burbs over the bridge, but I'm sure you guys were down on Broad last night. Maybe did you guys go down to the celebration afterwards? Where'd you guys hit after those games?
So at least personally, I'm a Philly suburbs guy. I'm out in Phoenixville.
All right.
So I went to the closest Barnaby's I could find. That's the great Delco watering hole. And I just got drunk with a bunch of degenerates, stayed till after the game, didn't quite make it to Broad. The Ubers were like $1.10 each way, but wouldn't do it any differently with the funds I had available. Trilli, I don't know about you. What'd you get into?
Yeah, I was hanging out with my dad. It was a good time. Me, him, my parents just had a good time. It was his birthday too, saying happy birthday. Had a stogie for his birthday, some cake. But then I had to cut up some clips for a couple people I work for too. So it was all play with a little bit of work on the side. So,
do you live in the city at all, or do you live close to the city, or where you at?
I'm from Glenside. I'm just outside of the city.
There you go. All right, it's not bad. Highly recommend it because you guys look like you guys are like in your late 20s, early 30s, right? I'm imagining here.
Dating me a tad. I'm about 24.
Early 20s. God damn. I was about your guys' age in 2008 when they won, and I was living in Northern Liberties at the time. And if you can get down to Broad, that's one of my favorite memories of that run and that night. Just celebrating with everybody. So if you guys can do it, you guys are young. You guys should be down there. As I said, I'm 40, so I got a kid, I got a wife, I can't sniff Broad Street. You guys should be down there in a heartbeat if they win the World Series next week.
I don't know, man. I saw some footage, and I saw an awful lot of kids out there. I'm pretty sure I saw a baseball game break out. So, I mean, you can still get down there. I was dying to be there. I was down there when, the riots were going on after the Eagles won. I came back again for the parade. So, I mean, I know what I'm missing, and I'm planning on being there for the next round.
Yeah, I was in Center City for the Eagles. I didn't make it. But when we win it, I'm definitely going down.
There you go. I'll get down there for the parade. I'm gonna leave the night of celebrations to the young guys out there, and then I'll be at the parade, and hopefully I'll remember more of it than I remember of the Eagles parade in 2017. So
I gotta be honest, you threw me for a bit of a loop with the without having ever talk outside of Twitter with the positive energy and the positivity. We were scrolling your Twitter feed trying to find something to talk about, and we are like, dude, this guy he hates everything. So I thought we put this in here. It's like, was hope for you ever truly lost, or how much of that's a bit?
I have a love-hate relationship with the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies were, 2008 was still to this day, I think that was my favorite season of any Philadelphia sports team that I've ever lived through. I went to so many games that year. I probably went to 20 to 25 games down at CBP during that run. I mean, the 2017 Eagles was right up there, but that Phillies season was just great. But I mean, you guys know, ever since 2011, that team has just been garbage. I mean, it's like in not even like you look at some of those tweets that like, some of the Phillies, some of the people that follow the Phillies, like LA and Fransky, that awesome Twitter feed. And, they'll tweet out those like old lineups from like 2016 and like 2018. And you're just like, how did they field such dreck during those years? And like, we all ate it up. So like the past couple of years of watching this team, it has become much more for me of like, okay, I get my hopes up every year for this fucking team. And they don't, I invest so much into them and they don't invest anything into the fans. So it's like a lot of it is a bit like it's funny to be like negative on like social media and like, like the best jokes and like the best comedy comes from like a place of negativity. But a lot of that also was just like real frustration at just being like, okay, we've seen this song and dance before. They're struggling down the stretch in September. Like it's going to end the same. Like I have seen this play out for the last 5 years, and this year is no different. So yeah, I mean, there was absolutely some realness in some of those tweets, and like I've owned up to them too. I published something on Crossing Broad today where I went through my old negative Nelly tweets and just like rip myself for them. So like I've owned up to it, and I know I'm more of like a bandwagon Phillies fan at this point. So yeah, was hope ever lost for me? Yes, absolutely. But I'm purely back on the bandwagon now. I'm all in, positive, and that's all I can say. So yes, not all of it's a bit. Hope was certainly lost in late September, early October. And honestly, like I think most fans will say that as well. Like, and you guys say like, oh, like you never had a doubt that they were going to get in the postseason?
No, September, heavy doubt.
Yeah, big time. I mean, for me, all I was just saying is hopefully we get in and we can make a run. And that's what they've done. I mean, everybody's had their doubts the way of it. I was with you for pretty much most of it, but if you just get in, the past couple of years when everybody wanted to not make the playoffs, I was just like, just get in, see what happens. I would have never guessed this, never in a million world, but it would have never happened if you didn't got it.
Yeah, I view this as more of like a 2007 type season where it's like, okay, we're going to get in. Maybe we'll beat the Cardinals. We're not going to have like any shot against the Braves or the Mets or whomever, or the Dodgers, whomever we're going to see later on. But just like so many things started going right for this team where, they all got healthy at the same time. Sarah Anthony coming back and being like an elite reliever. Not enough is talked about that, where, early on in the year, and especially in Alvarado too, like early on in the year, you'd see these guys and you'd be like, okay, like Alvarado's going to walk a couple guys and, Sarah Anthony's going to get hurt. And then that's going to be, then we're going to have to rely on Brad Hand and David Robertson. But just something happened in the last week of September and like the first week of October, where everyone started getting healthy. Everyone started to hit, and just like Nola didn't revert to his September Nola. Wheeler, kicked it up even with one more notch to become like this unhittable guy in the postseason. And here we are. Exactly. I never in a million years did I think they'd go to the World Series this year. None. I thought it was going to be like, get in, get some experience. Next year is going to be the year. But here we are. We're playing Houston, game 1 on Friday. It's a great time to be in the city and a great time to be a Philadelphia sports fan.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that has to do with obviously playing at the bank. And there's been a couple great quotes about that where Rob Thompson, after the game yesterday, said, everybody kept telling me if you win, they'll show up. And for the most part of the season, I think we didn't. I think Phillies fans, rightfully so, were skeptical and didn't quite show up even though we were winning. But seeing what Citizens Bank can become when you have 45, 46,000 strong going absolutely apeshit, it's like a 10th guy on the field. So how much of this do you think is, the team got hot at the right time, guys are playing the right way, and then truly how much are the fans playing a role in this? Because we're undefeated at home. It's hard to look past how much better this team plays in South Philly.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely playing a factor. Like you said, they haven't lost at all at home. yet this postseason. And like you mentioned before, yeah, fans didn't show up in the regular season, but for all the reasons I mentioned, from 2012 to 2021, the team didn't give fans a reason to come out. It was always, you got to show me that you guys are putting what we put into this team on a daily basis before we start spending money to come out to Citizens Bank Park. It was up and down all year. There was never like, it was never like, oh, the Phillies are in first place all year long, let's pack CBP out. It was always like they're kind of on that fringe of like the second or third wild card. Like, people didn't know if they were going to make it. Now they made it. Now the city is all in, and you're absolutely seeing what a good baseball city this is when they're behind the Phillies. Like, I think the players get a lot of energy playing in front of this crowd. I mean, Harper every 2 seconds, like, I don't know how much is pandering or how much is actually him, loving this city, but he compliments the fans every 2 seconds. John Smoltz the other day. I mean, it takes a lot for Smoltz to compliment Philadelphia fans.
John Smoltz.
Yeah, but he mentioned several times, he's like, this is one of the loudest I've heard any environment in baseball this year. And then you've seen it rattle players too. I mean, you saw, especially with the Braves series, where Acuna just seemed like he would like jaw with fans after he would catch a fly ball. I mean, they got on him when he didn't back up the inside the park home run. He had a couple errors. Like, they really got on Soto in this last series. Soto kind of came on a little bit in the last like 2 games, but he made a couple bad plays in the outfield. He looked like he was scared to swing the bat at the start, and the fans knew, and they got on him. They made life difficult. And I mean, God, this World Series, this crowd is just going to be electric. And I hopefully not, but the Astros had better be ready, because I mean, it's going to be a wild scene down in South Philly.
You saw the differences between the fan bases, how, the DUI chants when Ozuna's up the plate, that rattled him.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, the Nolas are Aaron's better when Austin's up the plate. It was the little stuff like that you didn't think people had in their back pocket that just came when those players came to the ballpark. They weren't expecting that. And when the Astros come to CBP, I want 46,000 people with trash cans beating it. Like, everybody bring your own trash can.
That's a good. You made a great point about the Ozuna DUI. That was probably the most the fans had an impact in that series. He didn't come close to even hitting the ball that game, and the fans fucking killed him for it. And they just benched him. They're like, okay, we're not playing him anymore. Like, he's not going to do anything in front of this crowd. So that was great. I don't know. What do you guys? So you mentioned the trash can stuff. Do you guys like that sort of artificial, like, we're all going to like, okay, let's organize some kind of chant? Or do you guys like it when like stuff happens naturally at the ballpark? Because I know like the chop, I was not a fan of the fans doing the chop sarcastically at CBP. I thought that was kind of stupid, but I could see the trash can thing being cool, but that's also like artificial noise. It's not, the fans like screaming and just like having that energy. What do you guys like to see more?
I think I'm kind of with Trilli. I like it to be like as offensive as you can make it while towing that line. No, because like, I mean, look, the chop they're ready for. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna do our thing, whatever. But like, if you can catch somebody off guard, like they did with Ozuna, like they did with Acuna in right field, even if it wasn't like together and directed or choreographed, just zero in on one thing until they're just not useful anymore. I'd rather that than just making fun of their thing with our thing. Like, that's kind of corny in my opinion.
No, I agree. I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to think when you said that, something different, because I do agree the trash can's overplayed, but I don't think it has been though. I think the Astros got away with, almost murder. Like, when have they really had the opportunity on a big stage to be buried like that? It's been a couple years with the COVID year, no fans. Like, they've had a long time where now it's only 2 players really left on that team.
Yeah.
With I'm blanking right now. I don't know why. Altuve and Bregman.
Yeah.
They're the only 2 left where they haven't been hammered at all. But I understand what you're saying. Maybe like with Altuve, like so everybody, like somebody's wearing a wire or like a joke like that. But no, I see what you're saying. I think somebody's out there crafting it up.
I mean, we gotta look. Some intrepid fan has to look up some like police reports on the different Astros players. We got to see who's got a DUI. We got to see who's gotten a divorce recently. Yeah, let's dig deep. Let's make it personal for the Astros. That'd be nice. Like like I said, I love the DUI thing. That was great. It seemed to be spur of the moment, a natural thing, and it just rattled the fuck out of him. So yeah, I'm all for that. I like it. I hope they're ruthless. I hope they find something to really sort of turn the knife in the Astros roster, because you know they're not going to. The Astros fans, they're just a bunch of hipster doofus, Houstonites. So they're not going to hold a candle to what Philly is going to offer in the World Series.
No, not at all. I think that's been one of my favorite things, the fan bases we've gotten to go through. There's an account on Twitter. I want to say it's Phillies Muse or something of the sort, where they do the credits roll.
He's good. Yeah, he's good. He's very funny.
Fucking electric every single time. But we've really gotten to have a revenge tour. Everybody hates the Braves, and that shop kicked their ass out. St. Louis, I mean, that was for Ryan Howard, kicked their ass out.
That's right.
I didn't think I had beef with San Diego until I saw those 5 dads doing the video. Like, we've really been doing the Lord's work getting these fan bases out of the way.
Yeah, I agree. Like the Braves, there were some bad Cardinals fans that I interacted with, like on social media, but the Braves were the worst because they immediately. My favorite reaction that Braves fans had were when they lost, being like, baseball has to find a better playoff format, because a team that wins 101 games shouldn't have their season ended by an 87 win 6th seed wild card. When 99% of the fans who were making that argument probably forgot that last year the Braves won 88 games and won the World Series. They won one more game last year than the Phillies, and they won the World Series. Granted, they won the NL East. The NL East was garbage last year, and this happens every single year in sports. A low seed gets hot. They make a fabulous run in the postseason. Fan bases get annoyed, but it happens everywhere. I mean, the Cardinals won that one year, like early 2000s, with 83 wins or something. Like, it happens. Like, get the fuck over it. But it was all the more sweeter because it was the Braves fans, and that fan base is just shit to begin with. So it was fun to just get them the fuck out and move on to San Diego.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, one thing with San Diego, I saw you were tweeting about it a little bit, was the Polaroid camera in the dugout. That's pretty corny, especially when you come up with a loss like that.
That was horrible. You can't do it. You're down 3-1 either, man. You can't. You cannot do that. It's so stupid.
I want to kind of flip it, though, because if they did win that and they come back and win that series, that'd be a pretty dope picture that we'd all be posting, that we'd all love it. What would be one moment in Philly sports or on this run for the Phillies that you would want that Polaroid picture of?
The Phillies, I mean, the easy answer is the Harper home run yesterday. I mean, come on. That moment doesn't happen outside of movies. It just doesn't. And I don't know if you guys saw the video of him in the dugout. He was surprised. Yeah, he's like, I can't believe I just fucking did that. Yeah. That is absolutely wild. But I guess the other another one that's not the Harper. They're all home runs, because every big hit was a home run for the Phillies, it seemed like. Man.
Maybe the Nick Castellanos diving catch.
Yeah, that was a huge play. That really was. Good point.
The Gene Segura leg kick at second.
Yeah, maybe the Segura jumping off the railing after Hoskins hit the home run in the Braves series was pretty awesome.
The Harper freeze frame on Schwarber's 488. Yeah, that's a good one too. I like that one too. You mentioned the Polaroid thing, but someone it was the Mets did the same thing, where they did the Timmy Trumpet. They did the trumpet song in an elimination game when they were down 3, Yeah.
and they brought in Diaz and he immediately gave up a hit and they went down 5. Like, you can't do it. You can't do it. It's akin to the Sixers shooting off the confetti cannons for a non-game winning shot. I mean, you can't do that stuff. I know the fans like it, but you just can't do it.
I'm glad you mentioned the Mets folding and bringing in the trumpet and all that, because there's people who want to have Dancing on My Own performed live in the World Series, and I couldn't be more vehemently against it. It just feels like setting us up to fail.
I agree. I 100. We were talking about this today. Some of the Crossing Broad guys, and I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I mean, I like that they have really embraced the song. It's not even the best version of the song. Let's get that. Let's give Robin, the original singer of the song, her props. That's the best version of the song. Number one. Number two, yeah, you have that Callum guy. God forbid you have him come perform the song like in the 7th inning and they're losing like 5-1. It's just gonna be. It's gonna sour the song. It's gonna sour the memory, and then people are gonna turn on it really quick. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. Don't have him come. Have him. You know what? If he wants to do it, have him come and do it when they win, if they win the World Series. Have him do it at the parade, have him perform it after they get the trophy, whatever. Don't do it in game. Don't do it at the World Series. I think that'd be dumb.
Yeah, it's especially because I think we're flying too close to the sun on that. I mean, Philly is up right now for sure. We were down about 3 weeks ago.
We don't want to be the Mets. We don't want to be the Mets.
True.
Trumpet. I live my life to not be anything like the Mets or a fan of the Mets.
And you guys are probably too young to remember 93, but 93, the city and the Phillies embraced tag teams. Whoop, there it is. With every fiber of their being. And I'm fairly sure tag team performed it during a game that they lost, and it sucked the air out of that entire building. So yeah, don't have any performers in game doing some song that everyone likes, because if it goes wrong, it's going to go horribly wrong.
In the stadium after the parade, that would be electric.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That'd be perfect.
I want to wrap the podcast on a good note. So I want to get this out of the way earlier. Obviously, two guys who in September we were like, all right, good written. See you later. Bring me Xander Bogaerts. Put Derek Hall up. We're good. The narrative has changed a lot during the postseason. Reese is on a heater, and Gene's kind of become the heart and soul of the infield, or at least emotionally. Have these two guys done enough to come back? And then where do you stand on if you want them back?
Yeah, that's a good point, because 2 weeks ago for Reese, I would have said beat it, man. Enough of you. You can't field. You're way too streaky. I'm sick of waiting for these hot streaks that amount to nothing. But all of a sudden, he is the living heartbeat of this team, where when you need a big hit, you need a home run, he's going to give it to you. He still fields like shit, which is, what are you going to do? At this point, just catch a lazy throw on the back end of a double play, and I'll be happy with what you do over there at first base. But he had that horrible error against the Mets. Me included. Everyone was saying get out of here. I've had enough of you butchering, every infield, ground ball. But now, I don't know. I mean, he's a free agent, right? He's a free agent after this year.
I think he's got 1 year left.
1 year left
of arbitration, I believe, right?
That's what. They'd have to go to arbitration. But they got to pay Nola this offseason too. That was the debate. Do you pay Reese? Do you pay Nola?
Well, you pay Nola first, and then you see if Reese comes back on a team-friendly, a fair team-friendly 2-year deal with a 3rd-year player option, something like that. I like Reese a lot. He seems like a nice guy. You want to root for him. You really do. But how much of this, I worry, is just one of his annual hot streaks. Then it's not going to carry over into next year, and he's going to have another year where he hits 220, hits 20 to 25 home runs, and then doesn't, make up for all of it over an ungodly week and a half home run spree. if you win the World Series, you almost have to. Like, you almost just have to, like, give him something, show him some kind of love for, like, being around. But you don't want to go nuts. And, like, again, like, all right, I'd say a 1 to 2 year contract. A 1 year contract, second year player option. I don't know if he'd take it, but at least you offer him that and see what he does. Gene, I guess, I would feel more okay about. I don't have as much conflict with him. Like, if they want to let him go, fine. I think, they have enough in the infield, and especially you could bring up, some younger guys, or maybe look free agency wise. But I mean, again, with Gene, see if he'll take like a team friendly deal. I don't know. I mean, see what happens. But Nola, out of all three, is the guy you have to pay. I'd say he's the more important pitcher, or the more important piece of this puzzle.
Yeah, it's Nola, and then use the remainder to try and bring those two guys back. If I have to think, if Reese's heater carries us through and to a World Series, then I'm more okay with it. I mean, is he going to be streaky in the regular season? Yeah, absolutely. This team wasn't built on defense anyway, so I almost take defense out of the metric, because no one can play half decent defense really outside of Bohm recently, and then Marsh in center field. But maybe he's one of those guys where, I mean, when he gets to the postseason, maybe he's, when the lights are brightest kind of guy. I'm fine with that. If he limps through the regular season and gets red hot in the playoffs, that's really all that matters. I mean, the MLB regular season doesn't matter. We're seeing that now. I would love to have Gene back. Gene, to me, is like TJ McConnell. I want him back really bad. I love him for like the vibes of the team, but he's probably the most replaceable guy. Nick Maton's ready to come up at any moment. You got to figure Trey Turner and Xander Bogaerts are both going to be available in the offseason. Whereas top flight first baseman, which in the scope of the MLB, Reese really is. I mean, there's not a lot of great stars over at first, especially that are available. So, I mean, I'd rather keep him than Gene, but I hate
Boris Klein too, so it's going to be competitive. He's going to try to get the most money for him. It's the 0 for 30 streaks that kill me with him. Like, when he started off the playoffs like that, 1 for 35 or something like that, and then he goes on that 2-week stretch where he is Reese Lightning. So.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, I mean, you can't keep all these guys, so, like, Reese would probably be the guy I would look as the most expendable. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because, like, Burrell, you lost Burrell after 08, right? 09, he went to the Rays. Was that when he signed the contract with the Rays? And then they replaced him with Raul Ibanez?
Yeah, because our second run was with Raul.
Yeah, there you go. So, like, yeah, you're going to lose some guys that, like, people love. People certainly love Reese right now. He's not on the level of a Pat Burrell yet, in terms of, the city loving him that much. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be Nola first and foremost, and then just throw darts at these other guys and see if they come back on a team-friendly deal.
That's probably what Dave's going to do, although maybe we'll spend more stupid money and bring them all back. I don't know what to expect anymore. But I phrased this last one very purposely, because it's not if, it's not will. How do we beat Houston? What is the roadmap to getting through the Astros? Because I should probably be more scared than I am. I'm not that scared. Justin Verlander has not pitched great in the World Series. Our bats are red hot. Maybe it's a whole David and Goliath thing, but I kind of like our odds.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you gotta hope Nola's struggles in the last game was sort of just a blip on the radar. Wheeler is still going to give you. I would like to see Wheeler go a little deeper in games. I mean, has he pitched 7 innings in a game yet this playoff?
I think the most he got was 6 2/3.
Yeah, yep.
I would like to see that. You can't depend on Alvarado and Sir Anthony to bail you out of every game. I'd like to see Wheeler pitch maybe that game one like 8 strong innings and they get like a 2-0 victory, something like that. I mean, it's just all going to come down. I agree with you that I like their hitting. I think they can put up some runs against Houston. Houston's got a really good bullpen, I believe, so that may be a little difficult. But it's going to be a matter of, can our start, Nola and Wheeler beat Verlander, and who's even their second pitcher? I don't even know, to be honest with you. Who's like number 2 in their rotation this playoff?
They have like 6 guys in that rotation that are all kind of just. I think McCullers, is he still their number 2, or have they moved him down?
I don't know, but like they have to outduel them first and foremost. You got to get a good, Suarez game 3. I hate you can't pitch Bailey Falter. You can't start Falter. You gotta pitch Syndergaard, see what he'll give you. And it's going to be the pitching. It's going to be their starting pitching. It's going to be how well the bullpen holds up. And then that's going to be it. I think the teams are going to score runs. I think the hitter, and hopefully this, the days off don't put them all into a complete freezer and everyone gets cold. But it's going to come down to pitching, I think. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the mystique is around the Phillies right now. They've got all the momentum. They've had 3 emotional series. Houston has kind of cruised so far to the World Series. So if you punch them in the mouth, let's see how they punch them in the mouth game 1, and then let's see how they react for the rest of the series.
Is the roof going to be open down in Houston? Do we know yet? Is it going to be warm enough?
I don't think that's really going to matter. I mean, the Phillies just played through one of the coldest, most disgusting days yesterday.
That was gross.
Yeah, it was awful. So I think they'll be just fine. And I don't think Thompson would ever complain about the roof being opened.
Dude, Philly
Boone is a bum, man.
Yeah.
No, Aaron Boone is a bum. That team is that franchise is a mess right now.
I'm surprised they didn't fire him right after the game.
I mean, he's gone, right? Judge is probably he's gonna get paid some ungodly amount of money somewhere else. And yeah, they don't have great pitching anymore. The team's got a lot of hefty contracts, and they might lose Judge. That might be tough for the Yankees to come back from all this. I don't know.
Yeah, they've spent a boatload. I saw a tweet where it's between all the stars they've brought in and left, it accumulates to $3.4 billion in trying to win a World Series and never getting there. So tough time to be a Yankees fan. I feel nothing.
Bummer. Yeah. Oh, bummer.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Yankees fans. Seriously. Oh well.
Yeah, kick rocks. You heard that, Spence. But all right, this has been a ton of fun. I love gloating as much as the next person. We don't get to do it enough when it's our own teams. We didn't get to talk about the Eagles, who are 6-0, but I'm sure we'll revisit this when we're having the second parade. We'll have you back on.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, come on. Eagles 6-0. This is, like you said, there's so few times that we can absolutely just revel in just the success of these teams. And having all 3 teams, or the Eagles and the Phillies and Sixers kind of below right now. They are winning tonight though. That's been good. And the Flyers are just going to be the Flyers. They're going to be nothing. But I mean, we just got these last 3 weekends have been 3 of the best Philadelphia sports weekends this city has ever seen. And there's been a Ric Flair clip going around, an old promo of his where he's saying I'm going to be even more obnoxious. I'm going to gloat more, and you're all going to love it. So that's where Philly is right now. We're an all-time high obnoxious wise. Can't be gloating any more than we already are right now. And let's just keep that going and through the Eagles season. And hopefully we'll have 2 parades in the next, 3 months. That'd be lovely.
You heard the man. That's what we're going to end it on. Coggin's calling his shot. We really appreciate you coming on. If you want to check out his Twitter page, which is one of my favorite sports Twitter pages for sure, that is at Coggin Tobaggan. I spelled it wrong on the episode, but he spelled it right in his nameplate. And you can also read him as a columnist on Crossing Broad or check out Let's Go to the Phones. Thank you so much for giving us the time. It has been a hell of an episode, my man.
Thanks, guys. It was fun. Yeah, anytime. I always love talking Philly sports and love coming on other shows. So it was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Come on, Houston sweep, boys. Houston sweep.
Yeah, there you go.
We're taking the Texans. Nice. We're taking the Astros. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, how about that? The Eagles right in the middle of everything, going to Houston to beat up on the poor Texans. So yeah, let's
mention the Union also in the playoffs. I don't follow soccer either, but they're technically a Philly team, even though they're in Chester.
Yeah, I can't even pretend to give 2 shits about the Union. I like them. I have friends that love the Union.
It's a nice
Kevin Kincaid, a good guy over at Crossing Broad, is a big Union head. So I'll peek in every now and again and see if they get to the championship this Thursday. And hopefully they'll have a parade through lovely Chester, PA sometime.
Hey, I'm from Brookhaven, right? Let's tone it down, trash in the general vicinity. But, All right, boys. I look forward to speaking to you all again after another Philadelphia Bender sports weekend. Thanks again for the time. This has been 2 hours, no traffic, Philly edition.